This machine is the Cabella Pro 50 industrial size smoker. You can see on the control board here, there is a couple different dials to get this operational. There's only a few things that you must do. First thing you have to do, and you only turn this machine on when you're ready to use it, is to turn the main power on. You can see the temperature gauge on the left side there. It will read the temperature that the unit is inside. If you are ready to begin setting or presetting the temperature and to get it preheating, there are 3 buttons over here. There's a set, there's a up and a down arrow. So push the set button twice, a temperature will come up, and then you can adjust it using the up or down arrows. Once you have it where it's at, leave the temperature dial go there, and then it will begin to preheat. You can see here it says 625 watts and 1250 watts. If you are going to smoke only to infuse flavor, we're going to keep it on the 625 watts. If you are going to cook in the smoker as well, we will then turn it up to the 1250 watts, and our temperature also will rise to somewhere around 275 to 300 degrees. Depending upon your recipe, you might have to do one or the other. So check your recipe. To open the unit, there is a lever here on the side. Very simply, all you have to do is to loosen it, and then the door will swing open nice and easy. You can see in the bottom of the unit, there is a glowing burner in the bottom of it. That is an electric burner. You want to make sure you use caution with that because it is very hot. To get the smoker set up and ready to use, there's a couple things you need to do. Number one, you need to preheat the smoker. This is the bowl that our smoking pellets and flavors will go into. These are what the pellets look like, almost like a rabbit food or animal food, something like that. When you are operating it, you do not need a lot of these in the bowl. I've maybe put about 12 ounces worth of the pellets in it. Then all I have to do is set that on that burner, and then we have a drip pan that will go into the smoker. There are 2 kind of extensions or spacers on the back of this tray. Those have to go towards the back of the smoker. That way we promote proper air movement throughout the unit. That drip pan goes on the bottom shelves, just like I have done here. And then you can space out these shelves. There's 4 other shelves, or 3 other shelves and 4 spots that you can move these around on, depending upon how much product you have and how much you want to space it out. This will hold approximately 40 pounds of product, depending upon what it is. If you have some larger hams, they might only hold 1 or 2, which would be about 25 to 30 pounds. Once you are ready to begin the smoking process, there is what is known as a damper on the back side on our smokestack. When this damper is in the vertical position, that means it is all the way open. If I were to turn this to the horizontal position, that means it is all the way closed. Depending upon the recipe, it will tell you to add more or less smoke to your recipe. When your product is done, it will be a little bit warm, so you want to make sure that you're being careful. Use proper hand coverings, gloves, use utensils to pull the product out, or you can get towels and lift the entire shelf out and then transport your product to a nearby counter so you don't drip meat juices all over the floor. When you are done smoking, your pellets are going to look like this. Some of them will turn to sawdust. The other ones will just be kind of a little bit burned up. These are garbage, but they are going to be very, very hot. So you want to be careful. Do not put those directly into a garbage can. You could start a fire hazard and ignite the garbage can. So you want to make sure that you let those cool down before we throw them away. Even if we wrap them up and set them on top of the stove here or the gas range, for the evening, and then we can throw them away the next day. That is completely fine. You just have to make sure you do not throw them away until they are cooled down. On the inside of the unit, you can see, for cleaning purposes, there is some drips going down the door. And then in the bottom, if I remove this drip tray, the drip tray will need cleaned. That'll have bits of meat and or juice in it. We might save the juice and use that for a sauce, but if not, we will again let that cool down and then dispose of it properly. You can see in the bottom there is some brown looking substance on the outside. The inside of this unit does not get cleaned. Okay, we do not wipe the walls down, we do not wipe the shelves down. Eventually, after lots of use, those will turn completely black, and that aids in the flavoring of food. So you want to make sure that you're not wiping those down. The racks and the drip tray can all go through the dishwasher, or we can take them to the pot sink to be cleaned. But again, we do not clean the inside of the smoker. We will go along and clean the gasket or the seal here, and then we'll put some mineral oil on it so it doesn't crack and break up and then leak smoke out of the smoker. We want to keep that inside. The exterior of the unit is essentially a metal. It is a painted metal, so you want to make sure you're not using any type of a scrubby, a metal scrubby or a green scrubby on it. All you should need is a sanitation bucket, a red bucket with some detergent in it, and you can wipe down the unit. You want to make sure that when you're wiping down the control panel here, you're really careful that you don't have a lot of water on it. It could short out the electrical system and make the smoker not operate anymore. When you are done, we're going to make sure that we wipe down the seal, okay, and the rubber gasket, making sure those are clean, and then we will always close it and lock it into the door into position so we don't create a safety hazard with the door swinging open.